LIV Golf changed its event format this year, moving on from 54 holes. Bryson says 72 holes is not what we signed up for. Rahm calls it massive for the league, so which is it? Plus, fresh faces enter the field starting in Riyadh this week. Which LIV rookie will finish highest in the standings? And we make championship predictions. Teams with a legit shot at finishing first in the race to the team championship, as well as how many guys on the roster actually can win the ring in 2026. Welcome to 54 Golf. I want to start off today's show with...
He is that even keel guy. Nothing's going to bother him. He plays well in the Ryder Cup.
The majors are always the best opportunity to answer that question.
As far as the pros, they should be able to hit that shot. We don't hit the ball as good as them.
You're right in the fact that he's an absolute superstar. He's just like running to a car to get a granola bar.
Welcome to 54 Golf. I got Austin. I got Cheech. Predictions coming later in the show, but of course it would not be a week around the LIV Golf League without a little bit of drama. One of these mainstream pressers waited until like right before opening day, sitting on a quote from Bryson. And I want to read a couple of these to you guys because you may not have seen it. It comes from Today's Golfer, which is...
I saw him.
Yeah, which is quite a thing. Headline, it's not what we signed up for. LIV is divided over the change, and that I guess we'll start with the big quote, which needs to be read in its entirety. Bryson DeChambeau says, it's definitely changed away from what we had initially been told it was going to be. So there's some movement that we've all been, I would say, interested in and going, why that movement? Because we were told it was going to be this. So that's definitely made us have some different thoughts about it. I've got a contract for this year. We'll go through it there and see what happens after that. Look, it's 72 holes. It's changed, but we're still excited to play professionally and play for what we're doing and go across the world. I think it's going to be great for our Crushers GC team. Is it ultimately what we signed up for? No. So I think we're supposed to be different. So I'm a little indifferent to it right now. Hopefully it weighs positive on me over the course of time, but you never know. I'm not sure. We didn't sign up to play for 72. Austin, is this like the anti-endorsement from Bryson for the change?
Maybe. I would love to see the actual quotes like being said from him. I feel like it's tough to get context out of something like that. All the thing, and that's just part of how people publicize it. Like they want to make it seem anti-LIV. Could they have taken bits and pieces of it? Possibly. I don't know. All the things that the way they put it out there, it doesn't sound the greatest. It doesn't sound like he's super happy about it. But he's been playing his whole professional career minus 3 years now of 4 days of 72 holes. It's not like it's something really new to him. It isn't, and I highly doubt he doesn't want to do it. The guy spends the most time at the range hitting golf balls anyway over anybody else. So it's not like it's a huge change for him. The context does seem a little wary of like, where is he going at this point in time? I feel like a year ago, he was completely happy with LIV. He was very happy in the direction they were going, where his changes have been with his YouTube golf. And I feel like he was happy where he is. So I don't think he's leaving, or I don't think he has thoughts of that. I don't know. Stuff.
Cheech, let me let you hear what Jon Rahm had to say about 72 holes. Initially, it was kind of rumored that he lobbied right away for 72 holes. Remember, before he joined LIV, he talked about how important it was to play 72 holes, and that's why he didn't go to LIV in the first place, and then came over and said it would be absolutely massive for the league making that move. And here's what Rahm said. When I joined, it was very, very early on, and it was a rough product. If you go tournament per tournament compared to the big tours where they have 40 plus events a year, we've had 3 seasons of 14 and 1 of 8, basically a season and a half compared to the PGA Tour and DP World Tour. So take it like that. They're making a lot of strides. Interesting that Jon Rahm obviously is pushing for more golf, saying we didn't play enough golf over this amount of time. We may not be as prepared as the other golfers. He went on to say again today at a LIV Golf Riyadh in their first press conference of the season, he went on to say, it's going to make us better players and a better team to play 72 holes. I pushed for it. This is something that I wanted, and I'm happy that we've got it. Thoughts on Rahm versus Bryson? Who's right? Which is right for the league or for the players?
So I'll give you my feelings on this. I honestly think that Bryson's kind of got one foot out the door with those comments. Like he said, he did not sign up to play 72 holes. For a lot of the guys, they liked the change of playing shorter tournaments, less tournaments. So I think that goes against what the league was based on and founded upon. So I think he's not, he's just the voice of it, I guess. I'm sure there's other players who feel the same way he does about it. So that's just how I feel about it. And, I know Rahm wanted to play 72 holes because he thinks it's going to make everybody better. Like Austin said, these guys all play a ton of golf. What's the difference between an extra round of golf and a tournament? You know what I mean? I think they should have kept it. I know why they're doing it because they think they're going to get points out of it. But what happens if they don't end up getting OWGR points? How are they going to look if next year they decide to be like, fuck it, let's go back to 54 holes?
I tend to agree with you that a lot of the movement in the offseason is geared towards getting OWGR points. They put a lot of eggs in the basket. They may have pushed some players away, and hopefully that one of those guys is not Bryson. Obviously enjoy seeing him on the LIV Golf League and hope that he decides to extend his contract. Don't know that that's a certainty now, as you said, Austin. We hope he's coming back, but he may already, as Cheech, you said, he may already have one foot out the door here in this kind of decision to go to 72 holes. Maybe the deciding factor in what he, decides to do. He may, see YouTube, and he said this flat out, YouTube is a viable option for my career, YouTube and the majors. And if he can just find a way to play enough golf to qualify for the majors and then also play on YouTube, maybe, the perfect schedule that LIV was with the minimal amount of days and the minimal amount of holes and the minimal amount of events, all that stuff. If it goes away, maybe Bryson's just like, hey, man, this wasn't what I signed up for. So my contract, I'm at the end of my contract. Time to move on to the next thing.
I mean, do you think he's just flexing because Patrick Reed just left? He is one of the 3 biggest names for LIV Golf. It just gives him that much more bargaining chip to, hey, I want a bigger contract, at the end of the day.
That is certainly the most positive way to spin what Bryson's been saying this offseason.
I'm a glass
without a
half full
doubt.
kind of guy.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's the most positive way to spin the whole thing, is to say, why would he not negotiate in public? Why would he not, insert seed of doubt into guy who's writing check for me at the end of the season? Of course. There's certainly that. I don't think he even needed to do that, but an extra 10%,
it only
an
helps.
extra 20% for sure. It only helps.
And the 2 biggest guys on LIV right now in star power is going to be Rahm and Bryson. Those are the 2 biggest. Bryson's been doing better in the majors than Rahm has been. So I would say he is the biggest face right now.
And I think that's kind of why we started off with this, right? This feels like a Bryson versus Rahm kind of thing. This is like Bryson saying, this is like a Bryson saying, hey man, I want to be here and I want to do YouTube and I want to play in majors. I didn't really think that this was going to turn into the PGA Tour 1.5. Right.
That is a very good argument right there.
And Jon Rahm is saying, hey man, I came over here. You told me in the back room that we were going to get to 72 holes and OWGR points. And that's what's important to me because I want my legacy and I want to win as many majors as I possibly can. And I want to play in these majors. And when your 2 biggest stars are kind of on opposite ends of this thing, Scott O'Neill's a great, kind of bring you together type of guy. This is a really hard spot to bring these 2 guys together. And I think what would go the longest way, and hopefully when you're watching this, OWGR already announced that LIV Golf either did or did not get the points for the 2026 season. But that would go a long way into this because I think that could help convince Bryson that an extra set of, an extra round of holes or round of golf will be 25% more points. And now we can attract some golfers who can make sure you get into those majors. And who knows how they finagle the Bryson contract, but I could see him with a lot more flexibility going forward, however that works out for him, for certainly in his next contract. It's something to watch, though. It's certainly something that we need to circle back to throughout the year. Watch the comments from Bryson about 54 holes. Watch the comments from Rahm about 72 holes, and kind of see which way Scott O'Neill and the executives of the league are kind of trying to drive this narrative too. It's going to be interesting for sure. Not something you want to talk about right before the season starts. You want to have all this
Yep.
You want to have it all sewn up. You want to have everybody on the same page and moving in the same direction. But it just feels like this is a real choppy kind of sticking point for it. And it's not just for the for the players, I think fans are also kind of like trying to figure out like what do they really like. Like I know a lot of fans like LIV Golf for 54 holes. They only had to tune in for 3 days. Like they knew it was going to be like a sprint to the end, and like birdie fest, let's go. You have to get going in round one. Like you don't really have to get going in round one, right? You can kind of play the way that, you can kind of play your way through the event, and there's not a cut. So, after 36 holes, you can kind of gauge where you're at and see what you have to do on the weekend, which is more traditional. It's going to feel different. I can tell you that now. This first LIV event and all the LIV events going forward are going to feel way different than all the other ones that we've experienced, because you won't know after round one who's completely out of it or who has to go nuts on the weekend. You know what I mean? I think fans, there were fans of 54 holes, not personally, it didn't matter to me, but, I know that people enjoyed 54 holes. The difference in the event itself and how that impacted scoring and watching on TV and the time commitment and all those things, like that's a real thing. So, turning those people off for a chance at OWGR points, or to, make half of the league players happy and half of the league upset, and maybe Bryson walks away, and, who knows, like this could really backfire on the league. And so definitely we got to keep an eye on that. All right, let's move on. We can talk about 54 and 72 holes for the whole season, so we don't have to do this the whole entire first week. We've got new faces in the league this year. Plenty of guys joining the league: Michael Lasasso, Elvis Smiley, Ben On, captain of a whole, rebranded franchise, bringing on his own guys. We got Richard T. Lee winning the promotions event, coming in for the first time into the league. So I want to do something kind of interesting. Like, of the new guys, that new group of guys, and Cheech, I'm going to let you start since you have the best connection here. Of the new guys, which one of those guys will finish the highest in the standings, or which one do you have the most hope for finishing highest in the standings in 2026 from the new group of guys, the rookies?
So now when you ask this question, is it to like win a tournament? Is it to be rookie of the year? Like, what is it? Is it like to be the best of the new? Like, what is kind of, I mean, I have a guy who I think is going to be the best out of all the rookies. It might even be the best guy on his team for this coming year. And it is Elvis Smiley. You did mention him first. I watched him play over DP a little bit, and I think he's got a ton of talent, and it could be really good. So I can see him being a rookie of the year if they were to have a category for that. And I think he could be the best player on his team, unless Cam pulls his head out of his ass this year.
Best player on his team is saying a lot, because Cam and Lucas Herbert, and I think Leishman might have even been in the lock zone. Like, all those guys were finished pretty well last season. So for Elvis to get all the way up to, like, basically you're saying he's going to be a top 20-ish player in the league. Is that where you see him?
Absolutely. He's that good.
That would be super exciting. That's something that no one would expect. Like, that is a bold prediction for sure. And I've seen Elvis Smiley play. He's definitely played well on the DP World Tour. He's certainly a huge favorite in Australia. So when we get to Adelaide, like, he's going to be in the mix with those people behind him. He's definitely going to live up to that hype on his home soil for sure. And the DP World Tour guys do have the advantage of playing in Singapore, like going around the world and seeing these courses that play differently. Yeah. So there's definitely some advantage to those guys for sure. So you got him like on Tom McKibben level, because that's kind of where McKibben fit in his first season. That's where you see Elvis Smiley.
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of confidence in him. When I heard he was coming over here, I was like, guys, this is going to be good. I said, I'm going to throw my name on his back for this year.
That's awesome. Austin, I'm going to give you a chance. The guy, the rookie, doesn't have to be a rookie, but the first year LIV player who's going to finish the best in the standings, or
best of the rookies.
The best of the rookies. However you want to judge it.
I'm going to go with Thomas Dietrich, actually. I feel like was very consistent on the PGA Tour. He won an event last year. Being that he is foreign, he's played a lot of DP World Tour matches. He's played a lot overseas, which is going to be more of a LIV type thing. So I do feel like he is still sharp right now. It's not like he's taking some rust off.
Yeah, I agree. That team is obviously going to need Dietrich to play well now with Patrick Reed playing on the DP World Tour this year and moving on back to the PGA Tour eventually. Dietrich playing with his countryman Thomas Pieters is only going to help him. So, good job by DJ and the Four Aces to get those two guys together. Certainly will make both of those guys play better. 4 aces, if they could figure out who the 4th ace is, and it's like a consistently good player, that's a pretty good team. That's a pretty good team. Pretty well-traveled, solid, never probably going to really be out of it type of team, as long as they can find like a really, a solid fourth player. So, all right, I'm going to put you on the spot with the Dietrich thing. He won a PGA Tour event last season. Does he win a LIV event this year? There's only 13.
I don't think so. I don't.
Hard.
I
think that's asking a lot.
Like, I was going because for our next question, like I was going through that list, and there's a lot of good players up there. You could put all those guys, McGibbon, Hatton. We'll get to that at a point, it's a very tough spot to take that number 1 spot.
I'm not saying overall for the individual championship. I'm saying
just an event.
Event.
Just every single time. It's going to be tough to. There's a couple of guys that are always going to be in the top 5. I feel like,
agreed.
But it's hard to push those guys out.
The top of those fields are, you look at, winners over the years. It's very rare that you see like the Leishman breakthrough or the Moronk breakthrough. Like those are like very one-offy type of things. You always see kind of similar guys at the top: Rahms, Wackos, Brysons, those types of guys.
We're also now playing 72 holes. Does that change anything in that aspect?
I think, well, again, we can do 7. We'll recap the 72 holes. I think this, it only makes the cream rise even higher to the top, and it only just kind of drags down the bottom even more. So the guys who never had a chance will now never, ever, ever have a chance. And the better players, more consistent players will clearly, find their way to the top a lot easier in 72 holes. I'm going to throw out 2 names for you. Ben On, which is the best signing of the offseason. He had 3 top 10s last year on the PGA Tour. He played great in the fall. He's playing good golf now. He's played good golf in the past. I heard him talk today. He's all in on the league. Super excited to be, forefront for Korean golf. Like, guy deserves everything he's got coming to him, and he's a very good golfer. Excellent putter of the golf ball, hits it far. Not super consistent hitting fairways and greens, but that means all it takes is a day where he is hitting fairways and greens for him to be towards the top of the leaderboard. And that really fits like the condensed schedule, right? 13 events. If he plays for, 3 good weeks where he's hitting fairways and greens, because he can putt the hell out of the ball, like he could get on a nice run off a couple top 5s or something like that, and, put himself in the lock zone already after 3 weeks. So don't be surprised if Ben On is up near the top of the leaderboard in Riyadh this week. I would not be surprised at that. And then a second guy who I want to throw out there for Rookie of the Year is Richard T. Lee. He is by far the best wild card in the history of the LIV Golf League. The guy has like so much going for him in his golf game. He bombs the hell out of the ball. Just super calm, super composed. He's been like this close to getting to the league so many times over the years, and he finally broke through in the promotions event. So I really feel like...
You think he's going to bring it?
I really feel like no one is more motivated than Richard T. Lee on this roster. And like he's already played the Asian Tour, and he's like busted his butt to get onto the LIV Golf League. And like, Scott Vincent, same thing. Like if we put Scott Vincent in this category, I'd say the same thing about him. Like he was on the league, he was off the league, he earned his way back on, like all those types, like that type of guy, I really feel like could thrive this season when there's so many changes. There's so many young guys in the field that may just have like a breakdown week, right? Or not fit the course mold or whatever. But like a guy like Richard T. Lee, I really think, I know we're going to be the only people who say this, or I might be the only person who says this, but I think he has an outside chance of going from wild card to lock zone now with the extended lock zone down to like 30-ish players. Okay. I really think he can finish in the top 30 and get himself a contract.
I'm writing that down.
24.
Yeah, write that down, because I think I do. I will be following him hardcore. Like it's an easy guy to root for, a good journeyman, a good world golf player, and plus he wants to be there. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. And the wild cards having a locked-in contract for 13 events and not having to worry about being shifted to a team where they have to play for a team score. He's just playing for himself. He's playing for his contract, and I think that's going to motivate him to get his 2027 deal. Richard T. Lee. Okay. Now, we talked about the rookies, and Austin kind of hinted at this earlier. We'll start with teams. We'll do our championship picks here. I'm gonna let Cheech start again. Cheech, of the 13 teams, how many of those teams actually have a chance of being the number 1 seed heading into the the team championship.
Three.
Three.
I got three. I got your favorite team. I got Legion.
Which one's that?
The Crushers and the Rippers.
Well, that is shocking. I think Austin's going to add at least one more team to that. I think we can all agree that Crushers and Legion have a chance to win this regular season. I think Ripper we might debate on, but Austin,
I got Rippers in
add
there.
another team.
Yeah,
Okay.
Crushers. Torquay, I feel like got stronger this year.
Yeah.
Who else did you add? Legion, Torquay, Crushers, Rippers. What's up?
I just wanted to add something about Rippers. Can Cam Smith play any worse this year than he did last year?
No.
I'm asking you guys. Can he play any worse? So I think the team is just going to get better with him being better. I mean, Lucas Herbert played awesome last year. Leishman, if he didn't have to have his appendix taken out, would play probably better. So I think they have a real chance of being up there and maybe possibly getting a 1 seed.
I don't want to take the Fireballs out of the race as well. I mean, I think Sergio's playing great golf. He's still playing great golf. They got Jose Ballester. Like, I don't know who the fourth guy is.
And Luis Masabeu. They signed Luis Masabeu back.
And Puig, absolutely. Who's playing great golf right now? I had Puig on my singles. So, like, I think they got a good team. I think they will definitely contend.
I think we've nailed it. I think those are the 5 teams that have like any chance. Like, I don't think there's another team that could come in as at number 1. I don't. I'd be shocked outside of that group.
Southern Guards could be good.
Southern Guards, sneaky.
I feel like they'll always be
6th.
lingering.
Yeah, sneaky 6th. With Gracie played better last year. Dean Burmester can win any event.
Yeah.
Louis hasn't quite gotten to that top level on LIV yet. Certainly capable of doing that. And same thing with Schwartzel, like, steady players. Yeah. I just don't think you have to win events. You have to win events to get to the number 1 seed. And I just don't think the Southern Guards are like right there where they can like win multiple events. So you have to win multiple events to be the number 1 seed. I just, I can't see them doing that. So that's why I left them off. Yeah, they needed like one more player. They needed like, no offense to Schwartzel or whatever, but like they needed a little bit of an upgrade. He's still a good enough player, but they could have upgraded there. Yeah, so I think 5 teams, pretty good. I mean, that's more than 1/3 of the league who's in the mix to be the number 1 seed. That's pretty good. That's gives you something to like look out for every week. I think 72 holes is going to make it super. I don't know. I'm scared of that for the rest of the league as a Legion fan. I'm scared of 72 holes because 72 holes of Surratt, 72 holes of McKibben, 72 holes of Hatton, 72 holes of Rahm
could dominate.
They could really run away and hide in a lot of events. So Legion's the team to beat. There's no doubt about it. Hands down, the team to beat. Torquay will have something to say about it, but it would take something big for Legion not to be the number 1 seed. Something bad, not big, something bad for them. Then we go to the other side of things. So we got 5-ish teams that could win the regular season team championship. Cheech, how many players individually can win the individual championship in the league? 13 events. How many players?
I got 5. I got 5 guys. And you want me to give them to you in my order?
Yeah, your order, of course.
I got Neiman. 1. I think he's going to have another awesome year. It's going to come down to him. And I got Rahm 2. I got Bryson 3. I got David Puig coming 4. I think he's going to have another good year. He's going to continue, his end of the year last year, what he's done in events so far this year. And like I was saying to him about before with my team pick, I think Cam Smith is going to have a monster bounce back year. I don't know. I have a feeling he's just going to be like, I can't play worse than I did last year, and I have to prove myself this year.
Right.
No, but I tried to put a rookie, thinking a rookie can win the thing.
You said he's probably going to be the best player on his team.
Listen, I'm just, what, Austin? He could be, but I'm trying to talk Cam Smith into pulling his head out of his ass this year and helping him his own cause. I hope he watches this and he knows I'm pulling for him this year.
I think anyone and everyone who's watched the LIV Golf League thinks Waco, Rahm, or Bryson can win the league. So there's 3 players guaranteed. Cheech added Puig and Cam Smith. Austin, you adding anybody else to the list of players who can win the individual championship?
No, I circled all those guys. Puig, Bryson, Neiman, Rahm. Rahm, I think he is the leading favorite. I doesn't matter where he is. I would always put my money on Rahm. And then I'd go Neiman. McKibben, I would probably throw in there. I feel like he's playing great golf. The only thing I'm scared about Neiman as a Torquay player, he has not been playing that high lately. He's been kind of falling back in the DP World Tour right now. So I hope he works on whatever he needs to be working on right now and get it together. but I think McGibbon is probably one of those players that I could see moving up in the list. He already played solid last year, so I think he's only going to get better. And they're so young. They hit the ball so far. They're so accurate. Like, they're good. And all these young guys in the next 3 years, I feel like are really going to be making big names. I'm actually very excited to see how well Michael Sasso ends up playing. I think it's only going to help him being on a team event instead of a PJ event where he's not playing just by himself. He can go underneath Phil's wing with a lot of things every single day. And that's 4 days instead of 3 days now that he gets to just talk shop and figure out what's working, what's not working, where that short game better be on point at this point in time with Phil there. So I don't think he's going to be one of those guys, but I do think he's going to get better, and that's where it's going to get pretty sharp in the next couple of years.
Again, like we mentioned with the team, you have to win events to win the individual championship. I mean, I know last season, but it's even more important this year. They changed the point scoring. First place is worth like 47% more points than second place now. So like if you use this year's point system and put it back over last season, Waka would have destroyed Jon Rahm in the points. He would have won the league in like this after like the 9th tournament. He could have sat out the last 4 tournaments and he would have won the league championship. So they put a more of an emphasis on winning. So you have to win events. Like, I agree with you, Puig can win an event. I also think there's a name that we're forgetting, and he's a guy who's a former individual champion, and that's Taylor Gooch. Champion in he's been a historical champion here on the LIV Golf League. He played very well last year, back inside the top 10 again. He can win events. He can go low. Like, he's one of those players who's not scared to shoot 12, 13, 14, 15 under. He's a captain of Smash. He wants to make his mark on his team. I'm a Gooch bro. So we've known this from day one. If I get a chance to pump up Taylor Gooch, I'm pumping up Taylor Gooch. I think he's got an outside chance to join kind of that Rahm, Wako, Bryson, Puig, Gooch. I think those are the 5 who can like really get there. I think if we start to stretch it out a little bit, you see Cam, we see Hatton, we see Sebastian Munoz, guys who could just go low, right? Hatton can go low, Cam can go low, Munoz can go low, and I think we're forgetting about one young guy, and that's Biaster. Austin, you mentioned him earlier, like not scared of anything.
No, he's but I also think he's a little too aggressive.
He might be too aggressive.
And I feel like that's where he gets into a little bit of trouble.
But again, wins, right? So like wins are going to matter. And I think he has already sniffed the win, came in second, lost in that playoff in like his second tournament ever last year. Like he played very well, right near the top of the leaderboard towards the end of last year, like in almost every single event. So like he sniffed that kind of win there. And like the emphasis to win now is even more important with the points. And I think that go for it mentality, yeah, it could hurt him in the events that like, you know, he doesn't win. But if he could find a way to like push himself past that second, third place and get like somehow steal 2 wins, 3 wins, you know what I mean? Like he's right in the mix to win the individual championship. Even if he finishes 44th, like it's not going to hurt him like hurt Wako last year, because the point separation from first and second is so great. So like going for those wins, I like that LIV did that with their point system. We talked about this last year. And I think it helps those guys who can really go low. I think it helps Gooch. It helps Munoz. It helps Biaster. And it might even help Cam in the sense that like Cam can have a really bad week, but he could also win like 2 or 3 tournaments. So I agree with you, Cheech. I think
it helps Phil too.
And it does help like those weird guys. It really does. You're right. It like helps those weird guys who could like really just go low. Like Phil just goes crazy in Korea or something like that. You know what I mean? Like not Korea. They're not playing in Korea this year, but
something that favors his shot, his game.
Yeah, something that just favors his game, and he just finds a way. And so, you know, pushing for the wins is such a good job by the LIV Golf League. Like the tournaments are really going to matter. The individual, the winner is going to matter. It's not going to be about, you know, where you finish in the standings, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and how that's going to affect the end of the year. The wins are really going to matter in the individual race, and that's so important to kind of like put the winner of Singapore is going to be like, that's awesome because you just jumped from 21st to 4th in the standings. You know what I mean? And that's going to really, really elevate some of these guys. And like I said, that's why you can put Biaster and Munoz and like McKibben, as you mentioned. Like if they just find a way to win one early in the season, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, if he could find a way to win another 1 or 2 of these events, like he's going to be the individual champion and he's going to win $25 million. Like that's life-changing type of moment for these guys. So kudos to LIV for upgrading their point system. They really, really, really needed that. We do have our picks for Riyadh. You can find them on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube.
No more Twitter.
X, whatever. You can find our individual picks. I'm gonna let.
I'm not going to find mine. I haven't said it yet.
We'll we will still do our contest, and we'll get you an update every single week on the contest. We're playing a one and done kind of variation where you pick a player. If you followed our show for the last 4 years, you pick a player, you get that player's score, and then you can never pick a player from that team or that player again for the rest of the season. Same thing, you pick a team each week. If your team finishes in the top 3, you get 3 strokes taken off. You get 3 additional strokes under par for your player. If your team finishes in the bottom 3, you get 3-stroke penalty. And it always comes down to the last 2 weeks. You just kind of have to like wait it out. Each will get out to a fast start. Or like last year, I think Jerome got out to a fast start. He was like 25 shots ahead of everybody after like 3 or 4 weeks. And then it was just like everybody catching up to him, and he was choking down the stretch, and he held on at the very end because people ran out of players to chase him down with. And that's just, it's a fun game. And so follow along with our contest all season long, and check out our picks on Instagram, X, TikTok. Follow us there. Hit the bell. Thank you so much. Good luck in Riyadh. Thank you guys. Anybody else got anything?
No, ready.
All right.
Ready for some golf.
Let's get the fuck out of here.